Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas gearing up for UFC 143 alongside Nick Diaz, who faces Carlos Condit this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. And Nick, it is good to see you again. First things first, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
We've really enjoyed watching you on the primetime show. I thought a lot of people have gone to know another side of you and really get to learn about your upbringing. And I'm wondering, have you enjoyed it? Have you watched it, A, and B, have you enjoyed it?
It's not my favorite thing. I try to, more so just concentrate on the fight. Some of it's been a little bit extra motivated after, afterwards, and you watch it, and of course, like anything you see, you watch, old fights or just any fights really, or any stuff. It's just, I'm gonna watch that after it's done. So yeah, it's been extra motivating. At the same time, it's been kind of draining to have these people down my throat with the camera. But it's been all right. There's some nice guys. Got this guy Tom from that crew. He's real nice guy. So it's been a good time.
And they've been following you this week in Las Vegas as well, right?
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah. That's the they kind of sneak up a little bit, and that's when it kind of gets to me, is when I'm being snuck up. I don't really like that, but I don't need to stage. I don't need to put on an act or a show, but you know what I mean. I don't need to get ready for what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna say, but at the same time, I don't want to be I don't want to be acting up or acting out, and all of a sudden they're sneaking up on me with a camera. I'm gonna tell them, hey man, don't be putting ridiculous footage of me all over TV, and they'll do that if you don't tell them. So.
Final question on primetime. What's it been like seeing old teachers of yours and old trainers, these people who you may have not seen in many years, just pop up and talk about you now?
Though I have seen them. We've been training together, so we've had
teachers as well from like grade 2 and all that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about my coaches. Yeah.
I meant like your old, I think it was your second grade teacher, right, who was talking about you. What's that been like?
That's great. Mr. Dominch, I always see him, and we live in Murata. It's in Stockton, and it's kind of like this little area, and so I see him from time to time here and there, and he was a bit. I didn't do much school, much teachers. So for what I did do, he was a really good, a teacher, and just really helped me out a lot. I had a lot of teachers were really I didn't have the best teachers when I was in middle school. Some of the time, some of them are good, and then some of them weren't. But that Mr. Domich there, he had me doing like push-ups every day. We'd hit. One time I raced him, I think we got like 100 and something out. I think I beat him by just a few, but he had already done sets in the class before that in the class. So,
cheated.
Yeah, he. I had done actually less push-ups than him, but we went on a race and I got him by a few there. So he was, I always thought that was cool, and I thought it was great that I could do push-ups instead of my schoolwork. So that it helped me out with a lot of learning a lot of positive work ethic, I guess, if you will.
So that's why you pulled the fire alarm, because he cheated on the push-ups.
I was in second grade when I pulled the fire alarm. That was seventh grade, Mr. Dominch push-ups. Yeah, that guy. One time he had grabbed me up too. One time I was acting up. I think I had like this hat on or a beanie or something. He's telling me to take it off, and I wouldn't take it off, or I put it back on. And he got mad. He grabbed me up, had me all twisted up behind. I was just like, he was angry. Had me outside. So, we didn't get along first, and from what I remember, we weren't getting along too well. And then towards the end of the year, that we did really good, and that was my story with Mr. Domich, 7th grade, pretty much.
I feel like I could talk about this stuff all day, but let's talk about the fights. I know you have a lot of media to do. Have you been reading and listening to some of the stuff that GSP has been saying? It seems like this is a guy who's very controlled and reserved, but he's openly rooting for you because he wants to beat you that badly. What do you make of that?
One more time?
GSP has been all over the media saying that he really wants to beat you and fight you, and he wants you to win. On Saturday night. He's rooting for you, even though he has a relationship with Carlos. They trained together in the past because he wants to beat you that badly and teach you a lesson. What do you make of that? Because that's not something that we usually hear from George.
I think a lot of that stuff is isn't very genuine. You know, I don't know how much of it is and isn't really. Um, so I can't tell really if how much of that's for real, because I know that like come press conference and after the last fight, when everybody was saying that he wants to fight and he's pumped up and heated and angry, and I'm like, that's not true, man. You know, because if someone says, you know, I just think that they were, you know, just a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on him to say these sorts of things. It's not really him. I think he should just stick to what he does, or I mean, I would, I guess, but.
You've talked in the past about how, you know, having, you know, maybe some animosity with your opponent fuels you come fight night. Do you feel that same way with Carlos, the same way that you do feel about GSP?
I don't have any. I've the same. I feel the same about both of them. I think they're great fighters. I think one's a more respectable athlete, and one's a more respectable martial artist. And
which one's that?
Stand-up fighter, I guess, if you will. You know, Carlos versus George. I think one of them. I think George is a strength athlete, and that really stands out here, especially against all the other wrestlers that he's been fighting. He's stronger than all those guys, so you're having a strong guy competition, and he's the strongest one. I don't fight like that, and neither does Carlos, and I don't think that these guys enjoy fighting that style of fighter. I think it's a lot harder for them, especially if, you know, it's a real fighter, because you have a lot of these guys that are good fighters, but they're not cutting it. There's things missing, and they're not quite cutting it when it comes to that top level or that top 10. And me and Carlos Condit are both ranked in the top 10, and I have been. I've always been ranked in the top 10 since I've been out here. So I plan to keep it that way.
We spoke to Caesar on Monday, and he told us that if you win on Saturday night, that he will advise you not to take another fight until George is ready to come back. At least at 170, he'd rather you fight at 185. He said that's what he will advise you to do. Is that what you would like to do?
You know, I'm here to do my job, and we'll work that out. And if everything's right, then I'll be out here to do my job, regardless who I'm fighting. You know, the only thing about me calling people out or saying who's who, all I'm doing is pretty much giving everybody the respect they deserve. That you hear me say something about Condit before this fight even came about. It's because I figure I'm going to be in the mix here, and I know what's ahead of me, and I know what should be, you know, and I think this is probably what should be. It's too bad, you know, George is injured and all that. I think that this could have been a hard fight for George. Either way, me versus George, Carlos versus George. I think just stylistically, it's kind of rough on a guy like that. On a guy like George, on account of him being a strong wrestler, athlete type. You know, it's just a lot of time I got these guys, a lot of strong guys like that, and they usually are dealing with each other. You know, and the stronger one is usually the one that comes out on top. A lot of time, the stronger wrestler background, or stronger guy. So to me, George is probably, you know, out of these strong guys, he's more of a technical martial artist is what you have. But it doesn't change things. I think he's a strong guy. And you have fighter versus strong guy.
I like that. That's a good poster. Okay, 2 last quick questions, if I may, and then we'll let you go. What's the key in your mind to defeating Carlos Condit on Saturday night?
I gotta do everything right and go out there and fight, and just make things happen. You know, make things happen for me, and that's what I gotta do.
Final question. I'm wondering how much time Nick Diaz spends on the internet. I actually saw a clip that the UFC put out a couple of days ago, and the top comment on the clip, it was a preview clip, was from someone named Nick Diaz 209 saying that that was not what you said. And I'm wondering if that was you, and if you do go online and look,
Right, yeah,
was that you?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Yeah, because that's the kind of thing that drives me crazy. It gets me going. It gets me all into this mode where I'm going off about this whole subject because people are making me say like. I'm not standing here like, oh, Saturday I'm gonna come out on top, or I'm planning on doing this, or I'm gonna win, or like I didn't say that. I had this build up, and it's like I'm saying two things, and then Carlos is saying two things, I'm saying two things, and then it says yeah, I'm gonna come out on top. It doesn't say I'm gonna come out on top like normal, like I said. I didn't say it. They took my voice and put I'm gonna come out on top, like it's me talking two different times, and they slapped it in there. What did they do to you? What was that? What did it say when they did that to you? I'm gonna knock him out, tap him out, but it was actually I'm gonna knock him out, tap him out. It wasn't like I'm gonna knock him out or tap him out. It was like they chopped it and they made him say what they wanted him to say, and they did that to me too. And that's really big. That's all people hear is me talking like, oh, I'm gonna come out on top, like I'm overly confident, or I'm talking that confidence or whatever. And I'm like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. You don't need to make me do that.
So that was you who wrote that comment on the YouTube page?
Yeah, I didn't say that. Yeah, that was me. That was my channel. I was like, hey, I didn't say that. It's the first thing, I type in my name, see what's new, see if what kind of talk people are talking, and then I just watched it was the latest pre-fight little talk or whatever, and you watch it, go on there. It says I'm gonna come out on top. I'm like, I didn't say that. And it's not a big deal but it's a big deal to me. I don't say that. I didn't say that. Okay, so.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Nick, thank you for the time. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks.